Hi everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Quest XI. So last time we sorry. So last time Michelle was able to meet up with Kai, who is Kai's grandson, and she got to say goodbye to her beloved by coming to the beach to see his gravestone.
A letter.
So in this part we're starting off with finishing off Michelle's little side story here. And apparently his grandfather was quite the artist. That's it's a really nice piece of artwork actually. It looks really good, but yeah, it's a beautiful painting.
But now I fear that dream is over. Forgive me, my darling, but I cannot keep my promise.
So yeah, this is a letter that Kai wrote for Michelle to basically apologize for everything that had happened. Yeah, so this is basically just final confirmation of what the hell happened on that night when Leilani lost her husband. And yeah, so basically, stricken with grief, she went to the top of the. What's the word I'm looking for? Top of the cliff. Fuck, what's wrong with me? Went to the top of the cliff with her baby in her arms and threw herself into the ocean, trying to kill herself to be with her husband and father again. And basically, Kai did everything he could. Saw it happen, did everything he could to try and save Leilani.
You're sure you'll find to row back
and the baby, but could only save the baby.
Don't worry about me, Michelle.
And I like this little bit as well, where they basically show a little bit of a cutscene, kind of showing that Kai was a bit of a dunce, kind of a bit of a screw up, but basically kind of showing how he left Michelle and the promise that he'd come back. But in the end, he couldn't. So yeah, you can kind of see why he feels like shit at this point. So yeah, baby's alive.
It's all my fault.
So yeah, essentially Kai blames himself for Leilani trying to commit suicide, or succeeding in committing suicide, and basically he's kind of left with the little baby of Leilani and her husband. So he can't leave. He has to look after this kid. He has to look after this little baby, and so he can't keep his promise and go to see her and get married to her.
They don't know you like I do. They don't know you.
And even after all the shit that the villagers that had put him through in exiling him and basically ostracizing him from the rest of the community.
I sometimes wonder if you're still sitting there on that rock.
Sorry, he still wants Michelle to forgive them.
I'll never make it back there.
You know, kind of saying that they basically don't understand, and they, that she should forgive them for what's happened to him.
I love you. I always will.
Yeah, and he signs off by saying that he loves her and he always will. It's a really properly
I shouldn't have been so hard.
sad.
Without you, I'd never
It's a really
known
fucking
all of
sad
this.
story.
Never met Michelle.
But to be honest, it is one of my favorites in the whole of the game. I just think it's just a really well told story.
All this time,
And
I hated that mermaid for what
you
she
end up
did to
feeling
my
at the end.
grandfather.
You end up.
But
Sorry.
now I see how
At the
he
end of it, you end up
felt.
feeling really bad for
He wasn't cursed.
both Michelle and
He
Kai.
really loved her.
Kind of, because I think it would have been easy in the story to just make him a bit of an asshole. He just decided not to go back, because he made a mistake or thinks he made a mistake or whatever. But instead, it's they take the effort to make it, make Kai a kind of a really good guy who basically just couldn't go back because he had to look after this child because he felt responsible for him basically losing his mother, the baby losing their mother and father and stuff. So, yep. But yeah, that's basically the end of the side story with Michelle. Probably one of the better ones in the whole game. But now that we completed this, we can head back to the strand, and there's now a chest where where we first found Michelle, and we get Lorelei's harp, and we also get a letter from Michelle. Yeah, the kindest friend I ever had. And I think this is just kind of like a little last gut punch for the player. Just to say, don't you feel bad? But, so yeah, we basically needed the harp to basically go down to the bottom of the sea and to see the Queen of the Mermaids. Once we see the Queen of the Mermaids, she will give us the next coloured orb, and that will enable us to head off, and that will basically be one more orb down. But what we're doing first is we're heading to another little area. So if you go right to the very top of the map, you can find a column of light. Play Lorelei's harp, and you can head in here, and we can find this little island. Which is another kind of mini island, which Insula Centralis, as the name suggests. It's right in the middle of the map, pretty much. And this is one of the areas which you can only access by using Lorelei's harp. And here we've got some pretty big enemies that we can face off against. We've got Colossus, and we've got golems as well. So here actually is a pretty decent... In all honesty, there's some good, unique, sparkly spots to find. There's also another red gate and chest hidden behind. And because we've got Colossus and golems to kind of deal with, you can also get a decent amount of experience points here. It's a pretty decent place to grind. It's not the best place, actually, of the small islands. But it's still a pretty good place because golems and Colossus give you a pretty decent amount of experience to mess about with. But anyway, we're now pretty much done with all of the side quests, all of the little islands. So we're going to zoom, and we're going to go to Zwardrust Sea, because the Queen of the Mermaids is basically at that. It's the first big pillar of light that we see, which is right near the Zwardrust. So head into the vortex of light. The track as well that they play on the harp is actually really, really nice, really pretty. But yeah, this is the one entrance point, and once you've been here once, of course you can fast travel to Nautica, which is the basically Sea World, where we have, which is where the mermaids live. So yeah, not many humans pass by at this point. And in case you're wondering, you don't have to worry about drowning. You'll be just fine. And yeah, one of the orbs is down here, so let's head off. I will say this is a really fucking pretty area, and they actually do a pretty good job of making the because everything looks all wavy, and you can see like the sun shining, you know, the like the dappled effect on the floor, like from the sun hitting the surface of the sea. It's it's probably the most beautiful looking area in the whole game, and it's just a shame that we don't really have anything to do here. There's some stuff that you can buy, like there's weapons you can buy. There's a store here as well. But actually we won't be able to get to the store, and the store you can use as soon as you talk to the queen, but the weapons store we can't actually use until much later in the game, because you can't actually talk fish. So you can't speak to the guy who's in charge of the weapons seller. You can't talk to him yet because you can't speak fish or shark. I think he's a shark. So yeah, basically we've got to head off. Hi, dude. So yeah. Sorry. So we've got to head to the palace, and we've got to talk to Her Majesty and tell her about what happened with Michelle. There is, like you say, here, I try it here. Yeah, he doesn't understand what we're saying, so you can't get any weapons or armor. Do I bother? I can't remember if I bother. No, I don't. I'm just like, fuck it, let's move on. So yeah, we can get stuff from the story. We can get stuff from the, like, just the regular store. But that's really about it. At least until much later on. So yeah, this book here kind of suggests that this is Michelle's home, and so this is her writing about how she's going to have to get, get Kai to kind of get the queen to help Kai to be able to breathe underwater so they can stay together and that kind of thing. It's yeah, if you don't want to, if it doesn't want to kick you in the balls anymore. But anyway, so we've got to talk to, so yeah, you talk to her and she'll basically take you to meet the queen. The other person there is basically your save point, so you can save in Nautica, which is nice. And I'll say this, I really love the queen's design. It's just such an elegant kind of design to me. But yeah. And so yeah, she already knows who we are. She knows that we're the Prince of Dundersill.
I have a second sight that touches every quarter, by which I keep
yeah, this actually comes into play in the main story a little bit later on. But we're going to have to wait to see what happens there for a good long while. So, yeah. And so, yeah, she's kind of a nice one. She gives us the green orb straight up. Because she kind of knows, you know, what we're doing. She knows that we're trying to fight, you know, trying to collect all the orbs so that we can go to Yggdrasil to defeat the evil bastard of this world. And so yeah, that's number 4, I think. So we've got another 3 to find after this. So we've got 4 in hand now.
It always breaks my heart
And so, yeah, Queen Marina already saw what happened between Kai and Michelle, so pretty much we didn't need to come down and tell her about it, but we need to get this green orb anyway. And so, yeah, the Queen basically wants to try and forge stronger relations between humans and mermaids. But you know, she can't seem to find a way to do it right now.
But though the flame of human life burns short, it
So,
burns so bright.
Yeah.
You never cease to strive.
And I like this kind of little
No, you
scene here
push,
where she
you
talks
strive,
about
you
how
fight.
sorry,
And so your kind
talks about how she
our kind.
respects humanity, because even though they're so fragile and live such short lives, they keep, you know, keep striving and keep fighting on until the bitter end. So I kind of like that.
I pray that in their next lives they may stay that way forever. So too was it the world tree's will.
That is something I find kind of weird about this, because all the mermaids kind of speak with this kind of lyrical tone, which I suppose does make sense because of the myths and legends around, you know, mermaids being good singers. So I guess it makes sense for them to talk in a kind of lyrical tone, lyrical way rather. But you know, it just kind of comes off as a little bit off-putting, I think, when she's talking in rhymes, because she's got this very elegant, kind of powerful look to her, and she's kind of talking these rhymes, which kind of throws you off a little bit. But we've got what we wanted. So yeah, you talk to her again. She basically just gives you the last few lines that she just spoke. So we're kind of done now. So now we need to head off. Can you take me down, please? Thank you. But before we leave Marina for good, or Nautica, what am I talking about? Marina is the queen. We've got a quest that we can do. So this mermaid is basically, she she saw this delightful little boy when she was, when I was going to say younger. She still looks fairly young, but you know, a long time ago, basically, she saw this kid, and she loved his singing voice. He was on this trade ship, so basically, she wants us to find him, see if we can find him, and get him to sing for her again, or get him to at least sing the song that she recognized, as it were. You know, the song that they loved, that she loved. So we go to Gondolia, and we go on to the very it's like the top left-hand corner in the map, on the map. And so yeah, the little boy is now an old fuck. And he remembers the mermaid himself. He remembers the mermaid too, basically. Remembers how, you know, kind of beautiful she was, and is basically extremely happy that she wants to hear the song that he sang back in those days all over again. So he's going to teach it to us, so then we can sing it for her. I don't know if that's going to help. I mean, we don't really talk much, so I don't know whether our singing voice is all that good, to be honest. And so, yeah, he basically sings the song to us, and we've got to head back to Nautica so that we can sing it for her. The reason why this is worth doing, this quest, is because, one, it's relatively simple and straightforward to do with your warping, your fast travel. But what you actually get from this is the trident. At this point in the game, it's a really fucking powerful weapon for Jade. And your Grey Cross's trident. Yeah, you won't really find a more powerful weapon than this for Jade until much later in the game, so it's really well worth getting. But anyway, that's going to be it for this part. Join me next time when we're heading off to the next area we need to go to. We're going to be going to this school where the mini medals were created, and we're going to find out where we need to go next to get the next coloured orb. So yeah, see you next time.